Miss F. Welcome to your online class on multiplying multi-digit numbers using an open array method, which will eventually look like this. Remember, this video is so you can work at your own pace and find your own understanding of the materials, so feel free to stop this video, pause it, rewind it, and rewatch it as many times as you want and take notes. So remember to take notes as you follow along with me, and also write down any questions you have, and we will discuss them in class next time we see each other. With that being said, let's get started. The materials you're going to need for this lesson is a pencil, your 1-inch graph paper, and your lined paper so you can write down notes and write down any questions that you have. So first, let's talk about what an array actually is. An array is a set of objects arranged in rows and columns that have equal amounts in each. So when you look at this array here, that's already been done. These are columns, and these are the rows. And you can see the objects in this array are the squares. In the arrays we will be making, we are going to count the squares on our grid paper as the objects. So take out your graph paper and your pencil and let's get started. So we're going to start with a simple multiplication problem of 4 times 3. To start building our array, we always look at the first number in the problem, which is 4. The first number always goes vertically on your grid, or up and down. So we're going to start by drawing a line down 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And be sure to write the number next to the line that you drew. Next, we look at the second number, which is 3. And that number always goes horizontal, or left to right. So now we're going to count 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. Now complete the array by connecting the sides so it looks like a rectangle. So when we look back at the problem 4 times 3, that really means 4 groups with 3 in each. So when we look at our array, we can see that the columns are groups of 4 squares. And each row is a group. So now if we count all of the squares inside of our array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 squares in the array. So the answer to 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So now I want to do another problem. So take out another piece of graph paper. The problem we are going to try is 7 times 4. So what if you aren't exactly a master at your sevens for multiplication yet? You can use an array to make it easier for you to multiply. Let's take our first number, 7. We can break 7 down into 2 numbers that equal 7 that we do know how to multiply by. The 2 numbers we are going to use are 5 and 2, since 5 plus 2 equals 7. When we break one number down into 2 numbers, we are going to multiply each of those numbers by the second number in the problem. So now we have 5 times 4 plus 2 times 4. Now we draw our array. We start with 5 times 4. Draw your line down 5 squares. and over 4. And remember to connect the array. Now we look at the next equation, which is 2 times 4. And we can draw that array. So now 5 times 4 is 20, and 4 times 2 is 8. But we aren't done yet. The last step is to add each number from the array. 20 plus 8 is 28. So the solution to 7 times 4 is equal to 28. So what if you have a multiplication problem like 62 times 5? It would take a long time to count all of those squares. So let's try this. Turn over your graph paper to the blank side, and let's try to solve 62 times 5 without using the squares. The first step is to break down 62 in expanded notation. There are 6 tens and 2 ones. So we're going to use 60 times 5 and 2 times 5 to make our array. First, we're going to take 60 times 5. So we're going to draw our rectangle. And we're going to label the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. And now we take our 2 times 5 and add it on to our first array. Notice how small this rectangle is compared to this one because there's only 2 instead of 60. So now we're going to multiply each of these numbers by 5. So 60 times 5 is equal to 300. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. Now we add up all of the numbers from inside our array. 300 plus 10 is 310. So the answer to 62 times 5 is equal to 310. For our next class, I'd like you to try these 2 problems on your own using the open array model. I would also like you to try the challenge problem down here. Bring in all of your work to class, and we will discuss these problems in our groups. See you next class!